Hi friends, welcome to the Fireplace Whisper studio. Today I'm going to be reacting to your fireplace TikTok videos. All right, let's get started. The cold hard truth about fireplaces. That's exciting. Let's see what he has to say.
So I hear a lot of people say they want to use their fireplace to heat the home or save money. I got bad news for you. That's not going to work. Fireplaces use natural draft.
So he is in front of an open fireplace. For a second, I thought he was talking about heat-rated fireplaces, but this open fireplace it falls more into a decorative rated fireplace. It's not designed to throw out any heat. So far, he's on the money.
You've all heard that hot air rises, right? So as you're heating this air with a fire, it's rising up and going through the chimney and pulling with it all of that smoke, right? But it's also pulling with it the air from this space, from this room. So the air in this space that you've heated with your furnace is being pulled into the fireplace and out the chimney.
That is exactly what's happening. You're paying money to heat your home through your furnace system or ductless heater or radiant heat, or maybe you have a gas fireplace on the other side of the house, but you are spending money to heat your home. That's what we call conditioned air. And so when you have this wood fire going in your open fireplace, it's grabbing your conditioned air and it's just shoving it outside the house through the chimney, which with these fireplaces, we just say you basically have a hole in your roof.
So you're actually making your house colder, making the furnace run longer.
So when he says you're making your house colder, there's a lot of truth to that, because what happens is you're taking inside air in your home and you're having it leave the home. So that creates a vacuum. Outside pressure, inside pressures, they're always trying to equalize. So when you have this vacuum inside the home, you now have cold air infiltrating into your home, typically like under your exterior doors where the weather stripping is kind of worn away. And now you have this cold air coming into your home. So these are highly, highly inefficient fireplaces.
When you use your fireplace, if you want to know more, click the link in my bio.
So yes, this guy, he's on the money on this. They're these open, we call them drafty fireplaces in our industry. He's absolutely right. They really only give ambiance, which is a wonderful thing. And you'll still get some radiant heat. If you're sitting on the couch in front of these fireplaces, you'll probably still feel some heat coming off, but overall, they're not efficient at all.
If you use your fireplace in your house, this is for you. If you don't warm up the chimney, you are going to get the smoke in your house. To prevent that.
So she's talking about establishing a draft in your chimney. Cold air is heavier than warm air. So before you've even lit the match, that ambient temperature of air in your chimney is fairly cool. And so it's fairly heavy. So as soon as you light the match, and you have smoke coming up, but the pipe or your masonry flue hasn't heated up yet, you have this cold air pushing down and the smoke is coming up, but then that cold air eventually just pushes the smoke into the house.
Warm up your chimney. Let me show you how. Open up the slew thing up there. Light a piece of paper on fire and hold it up there so it warms up the chimney.
That's a great way of doing it. I've had clients use a hairdryer before, and they just hold the hairdryer up in that damper area, trying to preheat the chimney before they even light their wood on fire. So this is a great option.
This is what you're looking for. When the flame and the smoke is no longer going down, then it's good.
And that's very true. Now what you'll find is the colder outside it is, the longer it may take for that reverse to happen inside the chimney. The colder it is outside, the heavier that cold air is, and it may take a little longer for heat to get up to reverse, and then you start seeing that smoke go with it.
And light the fire. The reason why you have to warm up the chimney first is because if it's really cold outside, all of the cold air in there is going to come down and push it into your house instead of going up and out into the chimney. Hope that helps. No smoke in the house.
That's awesome. And that's the truth behind it. So understanding the different temperatures, the hot and the cold, and understanding that preheating the chimney can really prevent smoke from coming into the house is a win-win and just a wonderful idea.
Huge fire hazard. Our costumer called us because he had smoke coming into the house after he lit the chimney. When we came, we were shocked to see he doesn't even have a chimney.
Well, that's no good. You need a chimney to burn wood in your house. Absolutely. And I've run into that as well. Like you have a homeowner just purchased their house and there's maybe in the home inspection or they have a question. And so we show up and we find out that maybe it was an old house and the brick chimney was falling apart. So the previous owner tore down the chimney into the attic and re-roofed. And the new owner's like, well, this stinks. I can't light a wood fire. What am I to do here? So the video dropped out. I'm not sure, but it looked like they were, I don't know if they used a scope or something, some sort of camera going up the chimney. And you can kind of see, it definitely is a transition. And you can see that the creosote in that masonry portion just ends. So yeah, I think they're just showing that in some cases, some sort of remodel has happened and half the chimney's been torn down. And this is now, it's no longer a code compliant wood fireplace. So you do not want to light a match in that. It would have been helpful for the homeowner or contractor who tore down the chimney to at least permanently fix a plate inside the fireplace saying that this fireplace cannot be used and in order to stay safe.
How's it going? My name's Tinder. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my little slice of paradise over here. Sure, we might be in the mountains and it's 20 degrees outside, but if you told me to stand next to this thing and close my eyes, I'd say we might as well be in the Mojave Desert. I've never actually touched a thermostat in my life, mainly because my dad's thump always told me not to, but in reality, it's because I like controlling the air temperature with raw lumber. This thing can heat up a house faster than you can say carbon monoxide. Sure, you might get third-degree burns by just looking at it, but I haven't paid a heating bill since 1996. See these calluses on my hands? Do you think people who heat their homes with oil have those?
I mean, it's in some cases it sounds like he's over-exaggerating, but in a lot of ways that's just how it is. Like it's a zone heater, right? So it's very hot where it's located and cooler further in the home. And there is no thermostat associated with wood units. You have maybe a thermometer on the wall that tells you what the temperature is. And so if you're like, oh, I'm a little hot, and you look at the thermometer and it says it's 80 degrees, then you walk over to the unit and turn it down.
Absolutely not. I actually had my brother Splinter completely disassemble the kitchen over there. Now I exclusively cook on this sucker right here. I have enough wood stacked in the backyard to rebuild Buckingham Palace. I do have to get up at least 16 times a night to restock it, but don't let the bags under my eyes deceive you. It's an art of love.
So he talks about reloading it, restocking it throughout the night. If he's doing it 16 times a night, that stove is very, very leaky and it's burning super, super hot. And it's time for a new stove at that point.
I actually had my brother Splinter completely...
I love bloopers because it just reminds you the human side of creating content. So he can't open the door. It sounds like he's mimicking his grandfather or dad or something. That's hilarious that he's like, how do you open this front door? So this looks like it's a tiny little stove. My guess is that it's in like a tiny home, whether it's on wheels or a little cabin or something. And he's putting that piece of metal that fell down, looks like it was a heat shield that he was putting on the wall. Yeah, the size of the chimney coming off of the unit, very small unit. It takes really small pieces of wood, doesn't heat up that much space, but it's perfect for these small dwellings. And now he's up on the roof. He's installing that black silicone flashing, which those just take a ton of screws and you seal it with silicone and seal it up. I love the splits. He's like, okay, these are the tools I got. Oh, here's a windowsill. I'm gonna put my leg over here. And that happens a lot when you're installing. You find yourself in some precarious positions and you go home and you can be a little sore. That one's kind of fun because normally we don't see units installed that high on the wall, where it's like eye level. Because if you're sitting down on your couch or your chair and you're looking up, you don't really see much flame. It was probably mounted that high to open up some floor space, which even then, I'd be concerned about putting something non-combustible underneath the stove and you go to reload it and some ember lands on something combustible. That would be a concern. But love the music and watching that type of install. That's a lot of fun.
Fireplaces do not belong inside your home.
What? Fireplaces do not belong inside your home. I'm hooked. I gotta find out what she's gonna say here.
And here's what to do instead. I understand the desire to make things warm and cozy, or
But do you?
TV above your fireplace, but having a fireplace, gas, wood burning, or a traditional type of fireplace is one, gonna leave a penetration in your roof. Two, is going to potentially negatively impact your indoor air quality, especially if it's gas.
Maybe not so much with gas, but maybe she's gonna give me some information that I'm not aware of.
And three, that's just one more puncture in your building enclosure. So what to do instead? Move that wood burning fireplace to the outside. And two, if you're considering a fireplace inside and it's something you really want.
I wonder what she means by moving the fireplace outside. Maybe she's talking about like a fire pit or a chimenea or some sort of patio fireplace. If the fireplace is on an exterior wall, and it's like exterior of the home, but you still have the fireplace, on this wall, you still have your chimney going up. It's not necessarily like a penetration through the roof. So I'm not quite entirely sure what her message is here. So, and then she's saying, consider going with electric, which electric, if you're gonna do electric inside your home, seems like she's definitely advocating electric over gas and wood. And that might be for some people, but it's definitely not for everybody. If you have electricity that's not real consistent and you lose power a lot, it makes no sense having an electric fireplace. If you're out and about, like more rural, and you have lots of wood on your property, that would make more sense. It's also more consistent. If you lose power, you have the wood heat. If you're doing gas, they're very reliable as well. And most gas units are sealed, so you have a gasket on the glass, so there is really no exchange of exhaust off of a gas unit. Let's see if she's almost done here.
Consider going with electric.
Okay, so that's the message, is to consider going with electric. Now, electric fireplaces, they can be beneficial for some homeowners. If you're like in a high-rise condominium and there's just no way to vent a unit, there's no way to get gas to the location, electric is a great option. If you're looking more for just an ambiance of a flame, electric can be a great option if you like the look of the flame. Electric units, they have a little heater on it. Most of them are 5,000 watt, sometimes 10,000 watt, which is basically the same as one hairdryer or 2 hairdryers. So they can give you a little heat just to heat your immediate area, but they're in no way considered a zone heater, and they're not efficient as well because it's electric resistant heat, which is not a great use of electricity. The air quality that she was talking about, it's probably has to do with, like with wood, you have a particulates per hour, which is what's leaving the exhaust cap. And heat rated units all have to qualify for, well, there's EPA and then there's EPA exempt fireplaces. The EPA certified units, these are heat rated units that burn very, very clean, less than 2 grams per hour, which they're a lot better than what they were just even a few years ago. So he has an open fireplace and he's throwing some Presto logs and maybe a real piece of wood on there. And this is a drafty fireplace. It's just for ambiance again. But he's gonna get some heat and it's gonna feel great when the ice storm comes, because it's gonna be really icy out there. It's gonna look really cold, but it's gonna be fairly cozy inside the home. Just seeing flames and the ambiance of flames, I think it does something to your heart and your soul. And I think you just feel warmer. What's going on? At first it looks like he got the fire going, but then I see, it looks like smoke is coming out the front of the fireplace. And then he's standing there. It looks like it's really smoky in there. Maybe he's just showing some clips of the ice storm. It's a little hard to tell what's going on there, but it kind of looked like either he was getting too much smoke in the house and called the emergency crews, or it wasn't smoke and it was the quality of the camera, and now he's showing what the ice storm looks like. And there's lots of like smoke above the fireplace, which, yeah, kind of leads me to believe that he had a little oops. Either he didn't establish the heat, the draw, because sometimes that'll happen too, where if the draw isn't established, but you're generating a lot of smoke right here, that smoke comes into the house and then it's like panic because smoke detectors could be going off and it looks as if the flame and fire is going to be coming into the room, which is very, very frightening. So the hearth, there's a lot of creosote on the hearth there and remnants of whatever was being burnt. So it leads me to believe that maybe he had an unplanned event with his fireplace. The importance of top-down burn method is super important. We do have a video of that on our Fireplace Whisperer YouTube. You can check that out if you want. And that helps establish the draw first before the fire really starts to take off. Take a look at that. Well, that wraps it up. Thanks everyone for watching. If you make another fireplace TikTok video, feel free to tag me in it and I will take a look at it. Thanks. We will see you on the next one.